everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today's video is going to be my top tips on how to sort of overcome binge eating. Now, as a lot of you know, I have had a problem with binge eating for quite a long time. I go into detail in my past with food video, which I will link down below, and I still struggle sometimes, but I feel like I've got it a lot more under control these days. So I've put together in my book 10 top tips I think will help you guys if you are feeling like you are going through this at the minute and you sometimes just want to cram everything in your mouth, basically. So I'm going to give you some tips which will hopefully help you out. I sat down and I wrote, I thought, like, what really helps me out when I am in that sort of headspace. So I have written my 10 top tips down. But firstly, I want to touch on what is binge eating. So for me, binge eating was triggered by dieting, because once you put yourself in the headspace of I can't have that, I'm restricting myself, you sort of come like consumed by food, and then food's all you can think about, and that is what spiraled me into binge eating, because I never had a problem with it before at all until I started to sort of watch what I eat and try to lose weight. So binge eating is when you eat a large amount of food in a short amount of time, even when you're not hungry. So you might have had your tea and then you're not hungry at all, but you fancy one biscuit, and then that biscuit turns into the whole pack, and then that whole pack turns into a big bag of crisps, and so on and so on. And in the end, you feel so guilty and so out of control and so horrible about yourself. And it's just an awful spiral to be in, because you'll wake up the next day and you'll think, right, I'm going to be really good today, and your whole focus is on food, and then you'll have one biscuit and then you'll think, oh, I've ruined it again today, and then it happens again. And it might not happen every single day, but I mean, for me, it's worse. It was probably maybe 3 times a week, which is what made me put weight on. So yeah, I do sometimes still have the odd relapse, shall we say, but I have got it under control mostly, and I am losing weight now. So I am gonna let you know what really helps me out. My first tip is to stop wanting to start over. So what I mean by this is, you have that biscuit and then you think, oh well, today's written off, I will eat everything I want to and start over again tomorrow. I will start my diet again tomorrow. And by doing this, you are allowing yourself to then just eat whatever you want that day, because you're starting again tomorrow. So you need to scrap that mentality altogether. You don't want to start again tomorrow. This is like a long process. It's a long journey. And if you do eat a biscuit and go over your sins or go over your calories, you know, you just need to forgive yourself, let it go, and just carry on. And don't binge eat, just eat that. Let it go, carry on. Go on to day 2 tomorrow. You're not starting over again tomorrow, you're just carrying on. I think that will help you mentally, because you just need to stop wanting to start over. You want to carry on, just keep pushing through. Number 2, and I think this is a really big one, is to stop living your life around food. When food consumes your life, that is when you've got a problem. So when I was in like this frame of mind, I would wake up and I'd think, okay, today's my fresh start, my new day on my diet, and I'm going to be really good, and then I'll go down and I'll have a really amazing breakfast, really healthy, and then all I'll be thinking is, oh, what am I going to have for lunch, what am I going to have for lunch? And then you're just constantly thinking about food, and life passes you by, and what you should be thinking is, oh, I can't wait to go out with my friends this afternoon. And you go out with your friends and then you get a bit peckish, so you pop and have some lunch. Or you're in work, oh, it's 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime, I'll go and have my lunch, and then go back to work and you carry on with your life. You need to focus your life around doing things and around life rather than around food, because when it becomes an obsession like that, all you want to do is eat everything. Number 3 is do not restrict. So what I mean by that is, if you're on Slimming World and you, okay, say you went out on a night out for a friend's birthday, you went over your sins because you had a few too many drinks. I, in the past, have done this. If you've got a problem with binge eating, I think maybe take this into account, what I'm going to say. So you might think, oh, I've had all these sins, or if you're doing calorie counting, oh, I've gone over my calories by 500 calories, so tomorrow I will just take those 500 calories away or I will take away those 30 sins over the week, and then you're restricting, and then you think, oh, I really wanted that pack of crisps, but I can't because I've got to make up for yesterday. And then you become consumed by wanting those packet of crisps that you just break and have 5 packets of crisps rather than that one you would have had that you would have been allowed on that day anyway. Does that make sense? Don't restrict yourself, because if you restrict yourself, that's when we become consumed by it, because we can't have it, we want it more, and then you think, oh, I'll just have it and start again tomorrow, and it's just that vicious cycle. So yeah, do not restrict yourself. If you've got 15 sins for the day, if you've got 300 calories a day for treats, have them. Even if you were a little bit bad the day before, have them, because then you won't continue on that cycle every single day. So that brings me on to point 4, which is to forgive yourself and don't feel guilty. So when you feel guilty, the next day you might wake up and not have breakfast because you want to try and make up for what you did the night before. So you're punishing yourself, you're feeling feelings of guilt, you hate yourself, you don't give yourself breakfast. And for me, doing that is the worst thing in the world, because if I don't have breakfast, that is when I want to eat everything, and I just cannot get full. So that brings me on to tip 5, which is eat breakfast. If I don't eat breakfast, like I said, I find it quite easy not to not eat breakfast because I'm very busy in the mornings, I'm going to work, but then by about 1 o'clock, I want to eat everything. I start eating everything, and even if I have a massive lunch, I'm still starving and I can't get full, and I just want to keep eating. Whereas if I have a big breakfast, I'm satisfied and I don't get those cravings. So yeah, don't punish yourself and eat breakfast. 7 is to have a source of protein in every meal if you can, because I feel like that's what keeps me full for longer. So if I had sometimes I'll have a salad with not any protein in, just a load of veggies, and I really love that, and it's really nice. But from watching back my past videos, I realised that's what makes me really hungry throughout the day. I just can't get full. So if you try and have a source of protein in each meal, for me anyway, that keeps me fuller for longer and stops me getting those cravings. So number 8 is to stay hydrated. Sometimes, my mum always tells me this, and she is right, sometimes when you think you're hungry, you're actually thirsty, because your brain can't differentiate between the two. So you might just be really freaking thirsty. So if you are having those feelings, go and grab a big pint of water. If you don't like water, maybe chop up some lemon, put some fruit in there, blueberries, strawberries, and just get yourself into water and really hydrate yourself, because that will help A, with cravings, B, it'll help you lose weight anyway, and yeah, C, that might be what you're struggling with if you just want to eat all the time. Okay, so the next one for me is really helpful. If I just in the afternoon and I'm not hungry, but I just want something, I'll go make myself a nice tea. At the minute, my favourite is peppermint tea, and this is really good with helping digestion, and it's really good with like managing cravings as well. So I really like peppermint tea at the moment. Go and get yourself a nice hot tea, and it's just the action of putting something to your mouth and you feel like you're giving yourself something. Okay, my next tip is to be prepared. So if you know your evenings, sleepy week spots, be prepared. Know that that day you've got 10 sins, so I've got a little cupboard up there with treats in, but they're all healthy treats that I can have, and I know I can have my packet of crisps, my hi-fi bar, my yogurt, and my strawberries in the evening. Have your little stash ready so that when it comes to that time of day, you can go and eat the stuff and not feel guilty, and that is the best feeling in the world. You are prepared and you know exactly what you're having for lunch, breakfast, lunch and tea. You're not going to be thinking about it all day. So if I don't know what I'm having for lunch, I'll be thinking, oh, what am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for lunch? And then that's food on my mind again all day. Write a list, do maybe a weekly meal plan, know exactly what you're going to have each day, and then forget about it. Just forget about food. I know it's hard, but just try and forget about it, because when you forget about it, it stops becoming a thing. Last tip, which is a really big tip and very important, and this is where I fall short sometimes, is to eat enough. Make sure you eat enough. In January, I lost like a good amount of weight, and every single tea time I had a huge tea, and Rob used to say, oh my god, that's loads, and it was, but that was my appetite, and that stopped me then, A, binging, be feeling hungry and restricted and wanting everything, and I still lost weight. If you have a tiny little portion and you're not eating enough, that's when those cravings are going to come in. That's when you're going to feel restricted, and that's when you want to go out there and eat. So they are my top tips, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below if there's any tips and tricks that you have, if any of these things work for you. And I will see you in my next video, which should be up in a couple of days. And yeah, I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.